administrative royal orders and the religious principles for the one who may be in distress. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. The common religion of all classes of human beings, regardless of whosoever and whatsoever one may be, is devotional service. Even the animals may be included in the devotional service to the Lord. And the best example is set by Vajrangaji or Hanuman, the great devotee of Lord Sri Rama. As we have already discussed, even the aborigines and cannibals can also be engaged in devotional service of the Lord if they happen to be under the guidance of a genuine devotees of the Lord. In the Skanda Purana, there is a narration about a hunter in the jungle who became enlightened devotee of the Lord by guidance of Sri Narada Muni. Therefore, the devotional service to the Lord can be equally shared by every living being. Religious affiliation in terms of different countries and cultural circumstances is obviously not the common religion of human being. Rather, the basic principle is devotional service. Even if a particular type of religious principle does not recognize the supremacy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the followers still have to obey the disciplinary principles laid down by the particular leader. Such a leader of a religious sect is never the supreme leader because such a circumstantial leader comes to the position of leadership after undergoing some penance. The Supreme Personality of Godhead does not, however, require to display his action to become a leader, as we see in the activities of Lord Krishna. The occupational duties of these castes and the orders of society, following the principles of livelihood, also depend on the principles of devotional service. In the Bhagavad Gita, it is stated that a person can achieve the highest perfection of life simply by awarding the results of his occupational duty unto the devotional service of the Lord. People following the principles of devotional service to the Lord can never be put into difficulty, and thus there cannot be any question of apada dharma or religion in distress. As will be explained in this book by the great authority Sri Shukadeva Goswami, there is no religion save except the devotional service to the Lord, though this may be presented in different forms. Hari Om Tat Sat. Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshut Unmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangam Nagayate Girim Yat Kripatamaham Vande Shri Gurum Dinatarinam Shri Chaitanya Manovishtam Stabitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kata Mahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Nitinamine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschati Deshatarane Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasari Gaura Bhaktavrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Nirnam Sadarano Dharmaha Savishesha Yadrishaha Shreninam Rajarishinam Cha Dharmakretreshu Jivatam. Please also explain what may be generally by the common religious affiliation of human society, as well as their specific occupational duties in religion, the classification of social orders as well as administrative and royal orders, and the religious principles for one who may be in distress. So there are three major questions here. First question is, what is the common religious affiliations of human society? What is the common dharma for everyone? Or in other words, sadharano dharma. So what is the common activity or that is assigned as a religious principle for everyone? The second question is, what is a vishesha dharma or savisheshascha yadrisha? So everyone has a Vishesha Dharma or a specific duties to perform. Third question is, what is the duties for Shreninam Rajarishinam? What is the Dharma for specifically the Shreninam or administrative class and Rajarishinam? Rajarishinam is that those are the those within the administrative class who are excellent, who are super excellent. They're called Raja Rishis. So what is the dharma for each one of them? First is the administrative class or general Kshatriyas, and Raja Rishi now, those who are very special amongst the Kshatriyas. And for the fourth question is dharma. What is the dharma for those who are extremely in distress? Krechresh Jivata. So the purport from Srila Prabhupada is answering all the questions here. So Prabhupada says that the common religious class of all human beings, regardless of whatsoever or whosoever it is devotional service. So that is the first answer to the first question. And for the second question of Savishesha Sayadrisha. So everybody has specific duties. So we're going to see something about the specific duties. Then for the administrative class, the Raja Rishis. So the leader. So Prabhupada is clarifying that those who become leaders in this material world, they have to make their way through from the general population. They have to become leaders. Either they are elected or they are selected. So they have to do some hard work. They have to make themselves qualified to become leaders. So, but that's not the situation for Lord Krishna. So Lord Krishna doesn't have to become a leader. He's always the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He's not elected to be a Supreme Lord, or he's not selected to be Supreme Lord. So that is very nicely clarified here. So the last paragraph from Prabhupada's purport, it talks about the duties of people who are in distress. So those who are devotees of the Lord, they can never come into distress. And so the answer for the fourth question is, so one should take up a devotional service so that they can become without any distress. They can be free of anxieties, they can be free of distress. So that is the answer for the fourth question. So let's go into a little detail. So everybody has some dharma. So what is dharma means? Dharma means that which is very innate to the nature of the person or even nature of a thing. So dharma is commonly applied as the innate nature of anything. So the Prabhupada translated many places. Just like an example is the innate nature of the fire is to burn and give light. The innate nature of the salt is to taste like a salt. The innate nature of the water is to give taste for the tongue. So in the same way, there is a nature that is cannot be separated out from any entity under discussion. That's called as dharma. So for everyone, so what is the dharma? So if someone asks a question, what is the dharma for everyone? So everybody has a dharma. So if you are in a certain country, you have to follow the rules of the country. So people say, if you ask someone, what is your dharma? They will say, so following the rules of the country is my dharma. Or some people might say, following the codes and conduct of my particular role in a specific job is my dharma. Or someone might say, my religion specifies what is dharma for me. So there is dharma which people have different understanding. And that's not called dharma. So that is what we say in the first point. The first point is dharma means what is innate nature of the entity. And these things are the duties, you can say, call it as the duties or necessitated functions according to one's role that they play in specific situations. So be it in the family, there is a specific situation where there are certain roles and functions. So a job, there is a specific situation, there are certain roles and functions. So all those things doesn't become dharma. So dharma, as we see here, is the nature of the entity. So what is the nature of ourselves which cannot be separated from us? So Prabhupada says in many places, there's a nature of everybody to do some service, even in the material situation. So everybody likes to do some service. So most of the time they serve their own senses, but sometimes they also serve others, like their family members, or sometimes a little more broad-minded people, They think of their society, they think of their nation or their other brethren. So that is a little more broad-minded people. They think beyond themselves. But coming to the point, so doing service is the nature of the living entity. That in material situation reflects in different ways. But in the real nature, so everybody wants to serve themselves in a material situation. But they do not know how to really serve themselves. How to really serve their own innate nature. They serve their senses, and they think that can make them happy, that doesn't make them happy. Because that's why we have to keep on changing our activities, sensual activities. So people have television. They're not satisfied seeing just one specific channel. They like to keep watching different things. They keep changing their channels. That's because the mind is not satisfied. Their self is not satisfied with that specific information given in that specific television channel. They want to change their mind. They want to have a break, have a different experience. So that always happens because that's not a real nature. Since it's not a real nature, we always look for a change. So the real nature of the Bhagavatam very nicely specifies that mukti hitva yatarupam swarupena vyavastitihi. So real nature is attained when someone attains mukti or liberation from the material situation. So what is the real definition of mukti? Hitva yatarupam swarupena vyavastitihi. One who is situated, vyavastiti means situated, in swarupena vyavastitihi. In one's own real nature. It's called a swarupa. So that is a definition of one's nature. One's nature is actually one's swarupa. Swarupa means real, original self, the form of the original self. You had a question, Prabhu?
No, I'm sorry.
Swarupa. Swa means one's own, innate nature. Rupa means the form. And that is defined to be our relationship with Krishna. So that is our innate nature. That is an inseparable part of us. We have a unique relationship with Krishna, each one of us, every living entity, and from the ant to all the way to the biggest demigods. So they all are souls, and they all have their unique, innate relationship with Krishna, which is inseparable and which is not negotiable, and which is the real innate nature. That's what is dharma. So, if someone asks what is the common dharma of people, the common dharma of people has to be, the common dharma of all the souls has to be rendering service to Krishna. So that is the answer for the first question. So that's what the Srimad Bhagavatam also says, the first canto, second chapter, 6th verse. Savai pumsam paro dharmo yatho bhakti radokshajim ahaituki apratihata yayatma suprasidati. So it means that Savai pumsam, amongst all the humans, pumsam, paro dharma. So what is the highest dharma? Which means there can be lower dharma also. So what the highest dharma is to perform devotional service to Adokshaja. Adokshaja is Krishna. Krishna is the Adokshaja because he cannot be described by any words. Ksha are the first and last words in Sanskrit alphabets. So Adokshaja means one who cannot be described by the words, any words in complete description cannot be given. And that's why we see there's a saying that Ananta Sesha, so he is from the time of creation, he has been singing the glories of the Lord. And he is not finished singing. He is continuing to sing. Ages after ages, yugas after yugas, continues to sing, but he's never finished. So that is the nature. He is Sarva Guna Sampanna. He's got all the highest qualities in the highest level. He has no defect in himself. So there can be defects in everybody. So everybody who is in the conditioned state, there will be some defects. So one might have a good looks, one might have a good birth, or one might be very, very rich, but there will be some defect. Either there will be bodily defects, or there will be some other defects in his behavior or in his thinking. There will be some defects, will always be there. So nobody can be perfect in all the aspects. Only Krishna can be Bhagavan, called as Bhagavan. Bhagavan means one who has all the 6 perfections in completeness. Has no imperfection, has no defect for any for the matter. So that only can be Krishna. So coming back to this point, so highest dharma is to perform devotional service to Adhokshaja. And how is that to be performed? Ahaituki apratihata. Ahaituki means it should not be motivated. One should not have any motivation. And apratihata means it should never be satiated. It should never be stopped. It should always be done. Unmotivated and which is never stopped at any moment. Yayatma suprasidati. So if somebody does devotional service like that, without any motivation and without any stop, so such a person will definitely attain highest happiness. Yayatma suprasidati. Prasidati means gets happiness. And highest happiness is bliss. Suprasidati. So what can be prasidati means pleased. So you'll be supremely pleased. That's what it means. And that will be perfect happiness and harmony with the self. So other happiness is all temporary. That's what it means to say. The material happiness is not suprasidati. Suprasidati means there has to be happiness that is satisfying to the self. So, the material point of view, a devotee might have a lot of different distress. A devotee might have, take any example from Srimad Bhagavatam or the Puranas. Talk about the Pandavas. The Pandavas had a lot of distress in their life. But they were satisfied and happy. Because they always knew Krishna is their shelter. They always took shelter of Krishna and they were happy all the time. So that is their purification. So they are coming from a background of, so all of them, if you might know, all the Pandavas, they are actually amshas of the different demigods. Like the Yudhishthira Maharaj is amsha of the god of death, Yamaraj. And Bhima is Vayu's amsha. And like that, Indra's amsha is Arjuna. And Nakula and Sahadeva, they are Ashwini Kumar's amsha. So all of them are amshas from demigods. So they are not pure devotees in the beginning. But they, over a period of time, due to their tribulations, Krishna puts them to different difficult situations. So, and they always take shelter of Krishna. They always train to take shelter of Krishna. So by their circumstances, and they became pure devotees. So once they got their kingdom, so you can see, they were not the same as they were before. So they were immediately transformed. And they were immediately, Yudhishthira Maharaj was very dependent of all the things that happened. And he was reluctant to even take charge of the kingdom. He was very hesitant. But then he had to be persuaded by Bhishma, he had to be persuaded by Lord Krishna. So then he took charge of the kingdom without any attachment to it. So he was like a Raja Rishi. He did not have any attachment to it. Then, once they learnt about that Lord Krishna has left the planet, so immediately they became ready to give up their position and give up their kingdom and their family members, and they were ready to go to the ultimate abode. So that's what is pure devotee means. Pure devotee means, so he is attached only to Krishna, not attached to anything else. Such is called the Yayatma Suprasidati. So they are always happy. So even though they are apparently in distress, but they are happy thinking about Krishna. So, question might ask, there is a statement here which says that highest perfection lies simply by avoiding the results of occupational duty. People following principle of devotional service to the Lord can never be put into difficulty. And that cannot be any question of apada dharma or difficulty. So those who are devotees, so do they have difficulty or not? They do not have difficulty. They have difficulty. But even if there is difficulty, the difference between non-devotees and devotees are, the devotees, they are happy, still happy in the situation. They are happy to be connected with Krishna. They are happy to see Krishna. They may have so many bodily difficulties, but as long as they get Krishna consciousness. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, let me become a kita, let me become a worm or an insect in a devotee's house, but just keep me in the association of devotees. It doesn't matter whether I'm a worm or whether I'm an insect, but as long as I have the association of devotees, that's all I need. I don't need anything else. So that is what the devotees really want. The devotees want association of Krishna, association of devotees. Krishna Sambandha should always be there. As long as it is there, they don't worry. Whether it is a healthy situation, whether it is full of tribulations, they don't care. So all they care is they should have devotion, should be able to chant the holy names of the Lord, should be able to serve Krishna at any moment. So Mother Sita, for an example, so she was put into so much distress apparently. From a material situation, it's like so much distressful situation. So she was taken, she was kept hostage, and she was always troubled. Ravana was coming and threatening her, and all the other Rakshasis, the Devanas, they were all threatening her. But all the time she was thinking about Lord Rama. She was only thinking of Lord Rama, no one else. So that was keeping her life, keeping her to keep going with her life. So she was never a moment she forgot Lord Rama. So that is, so Apada Dharma, so it doesn't apply to devotees because the devotees are always situated in the real Dharma, thinking about Krishna. That is the highest Dharma, is to always think about Krishna. Krishna says in that 10th chapter also. So if you can always situate your mind and intelligence in me, that is the highest. Everything else is the lowest. Then comes the Bhakti Yoga, then comes the other principles, the Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga, everything. It comes later. They are inferior to something, to a situation where you can always think of Krishna at all moment. Your mind is situated in Krishna, your intelligence is situated in Krishna. So that is the highest Dharma. So talking about Dharma, so we have definitions of Dharma which will help us to understand more and deeper in a material situation. So the material situation, the Dharma also applies, it also means one's own situation in the Varnashrama Dharma. So according to one's Varnashrama Dharma, so that's what I mentioned before as well. You ask someone, what is your duties? So they will say different things. So people who are not devotees, people who have no connection with Vedic Dharma, so they will say, following the rules that is set by my government, or my nationalism is the highest Dharma, or one's own religion is the highest Dharma. So they will have different definitions. But those even the followers of the Vaidika Dharma, so they will say, following the Varnashrama Dharma is the highest Dharma. So one's own duties, and one's own, according to one's Varnashrama, that's the highest Dharma. That's true. Because Varnashrama Dharma is the step before the Bhagavata Dharma. So Bhagavata Dharma is the highest Dharma. Savai Pumsam Paro Dharma Ito Bhakti Nadokshiti. But the lower Dharma is the Varnashrama Dharma. But unless Varnashrama Dharma is required, because it helps us to be situated at least in the human platform. At least as human beings, one has to follow Dharma. So according to Vedic Dharma, those who don't follow the Vedic Dharma, they are not even called human beings. They are compared to animals. So those who are followers of the Vedic Dharma, they should at least follow the Varnashrama Dharma. Because that keeps them in a position so that they can be qualified to follow the highest, the next stage. So that's why Krishna speaks about different duties. He does definitely insist upon people following the duties according to one's Varnashrama. So he asks Arjuna to fight in the beginning. But then he finally says, you do everything for me. Your dharma is not the highest, but surrendering unto me is the highest. Sarva dharmana parityaja mam ekam sharanam vraja, he says. So, sarva dharman parityaja, you give up all the results of your dharma to me. Because I am the ultimate benefactor or the enjoyer of all the activities you do. So, yat karoshi, dashnashi, yat juboshi, dadashi, yat. So, whatever you do, give it as offering to me. Whatever the sacrifice you perform, do it as offering to me. So, that is the way you perfect your dharma. That's the highest dharma, is to do all other dharmas to satisfy Krishna. Krishna does not say, only do bhakti, because he knows we are not in that situation. So Paramahamsas, Mahatmas, they can do the bhakti all the time. But others, they have to engage their body also. The body also has to be engaged in devotional service. So you have to do some dharma. Be it doing farming, be it doing deity worship. So everybody has to do something. so that their mind, body can be grounded, so that they don't become astray. So dharma is very important. So that keeps us engaged, that keeps us in the platform of human beings. But then that is a pre-qualification to us to follow the highest dharma. So here, there's very beautifully said here. The purport, Srila Prabhupada mentions, there is a Skanda Purana, there is a narration of a hunter in the jungle who became enlightened by guidance of Srimad. So how many of you all must be knowing this story. So do we know what is the story that is being referred here? Sorry?
The hunter, you said?
Yeah, hunter.
Is that
What's his name? Murari?
Murari.
How do you say his name? Mur something.
Murari. Murga means animal. Ari means enemy of an animal. Murgari. So Murgari, so let me just quickly mention for others who do not know. So Murgari was a very heinous hunter. So he is such a hunter. He doesn't hunt for his own self, for just the satisfaction of his belly or to make money, but he hunts for the pleasure of killing animals. So he hunts the animals and doesn't fully kill it also. So he leaves them half dead. They're suffering so much in pain, they're withering in pain, and they're so much in agony. So, and he likes to watch them in agony. Such a hunter he is. He's the highest cruel hunter. So once Narada Muni happened to pass through the jungle, and he saw, on his way he saw many animals were killed mercilessly. And they were not fully killed also. They were just suffering, and they were just lying like that. And definitely it's a work of some human being, right? Somebody, because there are arrows in it, there are cut marks in it. It's definitely not some other animal killing these animals. So he understood that it's somebody who is actually doing all these things. And he wanted to see who is. And this hunter who was going by the name Brigari, because he was called Brigari because he's an enemy of the animals. The people named him like that. So it was such a cruel hunter. So he was seeing, what is this sage doing? Who is this sage? Who is coming and who is watching all these things? And he knew that the sage stopped there and was looking around, perhaps for him. So he came out of his hiding, and then he came in front of him, and he was very happy. He was very jubilant. He did a big achievement today. So many animals killed and cruelly hunted down. So, but Narada Muni was watching this man with so much happiness, very gleefully smiling, and then he is watching at this animals half dead. So he said, "Are you the person who has done this? Are you the person who has done all this?" He said, "Yes, I am the person. So I like doing this. This is my everyday activity. I kill animals and leave them half dead, and I like watching them die." So then Narada Muni said, "Do you know why are you doing all these things? Why are you doing this such a cruel way? So this doesn't satisfy your needs. Your needs are satisfied if you have to kill certain animals. You kill certain animals, you sell them in the market, you get your money, you can satisfy and maintain your family. But why you have to kill so many animals? And that too, leaving them half dead like this." So then he says, that's what I like to do. So everybody likes to do certain things, and I also like to do this. So Narada Muni said, "Yes, everybody has something that they like to do. But do you know every action has a reaction? Every action leads to certain reactions. So you having to kill, you have to take certain reactions. In this life or the next life, you have to take reactions." And but he says, "That's how I do. That's what I do. And my family is also happy me doing this. They appreciate me doing this." So he said, "Okay, your family is appreciating you doing this, but will they take part of your karma?" What is it? What is karma? What is this karma? It explains that there's an action, it's a reaction for each and every action. So because you kill this animal, So you have to take birth as a similar animal in the next life, and you will be similarly killed. Do you want this to happen? He said, he was thinking about it, started to think now. And he was also thinking about his family members, whether they will take part of his, they have been taking part of his exploits. He is bringing so much money, and they are enjoying that money. But will they take part of his sins? He started to think now. So he said, let me go back and check with the family members. So he was very innocent in that sense. So he was not very diplomatic. So he went back to his family members, and then he asked them, okay, this is what a sage told me. This, that if I do all these things, I'm going to get some reactions. And so I believe that you will also be part of all the reactions. Right? I said, no. Why? You don't want to be part of this reaction. So you are the head of the family, you have to do all these things, and we are here to supply necessities for us. That's all. Everything else there. That's it. So you're not part of this, all these things that you do. So then he starts something, he woke up to his senses. And he understood there are things that is beyond his, the immediate thing what he sees. There are some things that is much farther that actually impact him later in life. So he went back to the sage, and then he was really shocked that his family members are not with him. And so what is going to happen with him? He was a little anxious. And he was thinking about all the animals that he was killing, how he left them to die. And he was thinking that, oh, I have to face all these things in the next life. So he became very sober. And he came to Narada Muni, and he was all ears. He was listening to Narada Muni, and Narada Muni took the opportunity to explain him how to become a devotee. But he said, to become a devotee, how am I going to get my food? Who's going to give me the food? So he says, don't worry, and just chant the names of God. You could not even say the name of Lord Rama. So he said, Rama, you could not say the name of Rama. But he said, at least say Mara, Mara, Mara. So Mara means tree. So say Mara, 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 Mara. So it becomes Ram. So then he was initiated by Narada Muni to become the chanting of the holy names. And then he went back to his family and said that everything is finished. I'm not going to kill any more animals. The sage came and instructed me how to live my life. So if you want to be part of it, be part of it. If you don't want, just keep going. So he became detached. So they all said, oh, okay, he will be part of you. So then he set up a hut, and then he started worshipping Tulsi, and he was just chanting this Mara, 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 Mara. And so that is the story of Brigadi, how he was transformed to become a nice devotee. And so that's the story. So coming back to this, and then here also we see, Prabhupada is making a mention here, that as we discussed here, even aborigines and cannibals can also be engaged in devotional service. So devotional service is the innate nature of the soul. So anybody can take part in devotional service. So Krishna is there in everybody's heart. And just like the sage Narada Muni, he transformed this Vargari. So everybody, even aborigines, they can be transformed. So there is, especially in India, there are so many places in the northeastern part of the country, a lot of tribals there. So the Christians have gone to these places, and then they have given them food, and they have made them kind of Christians. And then they have, especially northeast of the country, it's very prevalent in those places. So now devotees have started to go there and preach. So just if you preach with purity, if you have the purity, follow the principles of devotion, and take shelter of Guru and Krishna, and then preach sincerely, then anything can happen. So what about aborigines and cannibals? So everybody can be transformed. There is so much of a history to that. How Prabhupada came to the West and he made hippies happy, so that how Narada Muni has preached to everybody, from animals to the aborigines and cannibals. So it's a very beautiful verse from Srimad Bhagavatam. It says that Kirata, Hunandra, Pulinda, Purakasa, Abhira, Sumba Yavana, Shadayaha, Anyecha papayat apashra ashraya. So one who takes shelter of ashra ashraya. So ashra ashraya means one who takes shelter of a person who has taken shelter of Krishna. If someone takes shelter of a pure devotee of Krishna, then automatically whatever his background is, whether he is from tribals or aborigines or any of the different species mentioned here, so he can be Shuddhyanti Tasmai Prabha Vishnave Namaha. He can be purified, he can become a devotee. So that is the beautiful verse that from the 4th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. So with this small description, I would like to throw open for any questions or comments.
Have you ever heard the story told with where Narmuni reveals to him how in other words, the animals come back as apparitions that he's killed, and they come, he sees them, and they are now going to devour him in various stages. And so by his mystic power, Narmuni actually shows them coming back to do him harm. Story told in that way.
That comes, I believe, in the 4th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. So the Puranjana story. So the
Puranjana, right?
Yeah.
That's the end of the 3rd canto.
Puranjana is in the 4th canto.
Oh.
Yeah.
Prachinabari and
okay.
ISKCON. I believe that's what you're referring to, but I'm not sure.
Yeah.
So Puranjana was, after his death, he was taken through the Yatana Sharira. He was given a different body, and all the animals whom he killed while hunting, they all came and they were taking his flesh out and things like that. Is that what you're referring to?
Yeah, but I've also heard devotees say, use that same part from the Puranjana in relation to Narmuni Magrari. I've also heard that, throughout the years.
At least it's not part of this story.
Huh?
It's not part of this story.
Where is the story? Where is it?
This story is there in the Skanda Purana, it says. There is a narration of a hunter in the jungle became most enlightened devotee of Lord. So that is very brief. I don't think it goes to this detail. So devotees,
they use poetic license then.
Mm-hmm.
They've told it in that way.
possibly, not sure, I don't know who spoke like that, but
I've heard a lot of times told like that. Many times. But yeah, that was nice.
I only heard like this, that he instructed him. He did ask him questions, then make him think, and then he preached him, make him chant the names of God. That's what I have heard. I not read the exact text, the Skanda Purana, but I don't have that. Maybe it's there, I'm not sure.
Yeah, no, it goes back even before Prabhupada translated the 4th canto. I remember hearing the voice tell the story in that way. So I mean, it's not an important point, really. Because it is there is that story in Puranjana, but the Magrari story is it's a very important one. It shows, how, like you said, even someone like him, he was relishing it. He was actually enjoying seeing them suffer, and he was able to transform them. That's really sort of like with I heard there was the story of a serpent that he was able to. He told him that he converted him, and then but he said you can't use your fangs anymore. And then when he comes back to see him, he asks him how he's doing. He says, well, it's kind of difficult because everyone makes fun of me because I can't. And then Narmuni says, well, just show your fangs. But and the point is, I don't know where these stories come from exactly, but I've heard them. And I can't remember if I heard from a class that Prabhupada gave, but the fact that Narada Muni has the ability to convert a serpent is quite remarkable. He's a powerful devotee.
Yeah. There are a lot of stories about Narada Muni.
Yeah.
And how much of them are real, I'm not sure, but there are some of them are devotees that say are not real. I've heard from some scholars.
Or they just make it up.
Something says folklore, right? So people add their it's not necessarily made up by devotees, but it's part of the Indian folklore. So they add some stories, just like we spoke about the serials, right? They insert so many stories in it and then they make it. So it all comes from some sources. Devotees definitely follow Guru Sadhu Shastra. They don't make up any stories. But it all comes from some source, from somewhere. So we have to be very careful about it. And I always try to refer to some source where it is coming from. Because Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur says, Vaishnava quotes authority. He doesn't just speak like that. So he has to quote authority. He has to refer from this thing, comes from here. Otherwise it's not proper, Vaishnava. So you see all the works of all acharyas, you make any comment, they always quote them. I'm quoting from this place from Shastras, here and there. So that's a proper way to approach scriptures. Otherwise we become a laughing stock. So you can make some stories and things. So where does it? Finally, it has to be the epistemology should lead to the Shastras. Yes, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
I was wondering, what are they referring to? What is the sloka referring to? Saying he's asking Narada to, not asking Narada, I mean Sukadeva, not Sukadeva, Pritchard Maharaj, he's asking for Sukadeva to explain the religious principles for one who is in distress. If there's some different religious principles for people who are in distress. What is that exactly referring to?
Yeah, Apada Dharma, that's what is Prabhupada mentioned in the purport here. So basically the question I believe is that the people in distress, what they're supposed to do is a question. Are they supposed to do a certain thing? So obviously the interest of people in distress is to mitigate their distress. So what is the best way to mitigate their distress? So that's the question being asked. So I'm not sure where it's being answered in the Bhagavatam. Definitely Shukadeva Goswami will be answering somewhere. The Prabhupada definitely mentions here the path for everybody is to take devotional service. People in distress also can take devotional service. That's one of the 4 people who comes to Krishna. Krishna says that 4 kinds of people come to me. Chaturvidha Deva, Jana Sukritino Jana, Arto Jigyasu Artati. So Arto Jigyasu Artati. So Artati is Arto is the first person who is coming with some distress.
First one is distress.
Yes. Artati is one who wants wealth. So first kind of people who come to Krishna is distress. So people who are distressed, Apat Pandava, so he's called as one who helps people in distress. So Krishna definitely is to be approached for someone in distress. Because Krishna is the distress could be bodily distress, or it could be mental distress or physical distress. So in any case, worshipping Krishna is the best, because he's the husband of Laxmi. So if one is in need of something, Mother Laxmi is the one who can give. And one who has some problems. So that's why we have in they follow Ashtalakshmi. There are 8 Lakshmis. For Dana Lakshmi, for worshipping, for those who worship to get wealth. And Arogya Lakshmi, Bhagya Lakshmi. There are different Lakshmis they worship for different purposes. So like that, so Krishna has given all these demigods so that they can, so Lakshmi is not a demigod, but the demigods also are there to relieve people of distress. Provided they are properly worshipped. So demigods should not be worshipped standalone. Demigods should be worshipped along with Krishna. So that is the procedure that is followed in the Madhva Sampradaya. So Madhva Sampradaya also promotes demigod worship. So they worship all the different the puja for all the different demigods in different days, Ganesh puja and different things. But they do it, the whole procedure is based on that, identifying Ganesha to be a servant of Krishna, and you worshipping for this purpose, and supremacy of Krishna is always maintained. So that is a proper way to worship the demigods. That's the proper Vedic dharma. To follow the worship demigods is fine, as long as you know what is their position in relation with Krishna. That is mostly misunderstood. The general Hindu culture is you can worship anybody and they will do anything for you. So that kind of a promotion is there. That is totally wrong. It's not Vedic. The Vedic dharma does promote demigod worship, but in a proper way. It's not avidhi purvakam, it's vidhi purvakam. It is done as per the Shastras. So Madhvacharya did definitely lay down all the principles to worship the demigods, most of the demigods. Ganesh puja is there, Shiva worship is there, and Parvati worship is there.
Durga Puja.
Durga puja. So all scholars Gauri Ganesha puja. So in our tradition we do all that. So we do that proper and so because of that tradition I know how it is worshipped. The paddhati is very clearly laid out, all those things. So demigods are there to relieve you for immediate problems, provided we worship them in a proper way. So I'm not sure what will be Shukadeva Goswami's answer. So he will answer from Bhagavatam perspective. So whatever the necessity may be, so the Bhagavatam it is mentioned that whether you want mukti or whether you don't want anything, mukti kami or you are a kami of any specific things, worship Hari. Hari worship will be the best. Direct worship is the best. So that's what is the best answer. But people do not have so much faith, so they have to, the demigods are there to stepping stone.
You did mention the highest dharma is devotional service and without motivation. No motivation in devotional service, you said that. You get highest happiness and bliss. What if we are doing that and we are not happy? What's wrong?
Yeah, so Prabhupada mentioned that if the fan is running and we switch off the fan, it's not going to stop immediately. Electricity is stopped, but it will still continue to rotate.
You're saying it's going to take time.
Yeah, it's going to, because our past karma is there, it's not going to fully go away. And it's going to still have some, it has to be finished this lifetime. So Krishna is going to put us in a different distress so that we can get rid of the baggage in this lifetime. So if you really want to go back to him, he will put more difficulties so that we'll think more of him. So just like, so those who are distressed, devotees, especially Sita Devi, especially, she's always thinking about Lord Rama. Because she's not a soul, she's the Supreme Lord's consort. She's Lord himself in one sense in feminine form. So, but the point here is that when we put her in distress, then we think about Krishna more. We become more indifferent to the world. We understand that this world is not a happy place to be. We constantly need to be reminded of that fact, so that we can be focused and take full shelter of Krishna. Does it answer?
Yes, thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Are you leaving town or something?
Yeah, I'm going to my house to see if everything is in order.
Oh, okay. So that's what she called me yesterday about changing,
Yeah, I'm immediately leaving as soon as I go back home.
Right now, today.
Yeah, right today.
Be safe now, since you're going back up.
Yes, I'm not going anywhere, I'm just going to my home and come back. Stop for gas station.
Eh? Do you have any sweets you can give Prabhu?
In my office, not here.
Can you go to his office, get some
Huh?
for your wife? Can you take some?
Yes, I can take some.
You'll be back for next week, huh?
I'll be back on Sunday night.
Okay.
I don't even want to figure out some stuff up for work.
I hope there is any breakfast.
Huh?
I forgot to keep.
Just get some milk and if there's not, just take some
Milk, I
cereal.
don't have milk, okay. Okay.
My wife has prohibited me from going anywhere apart from home.
Not even to temple?
No,
Or temple?
Temples is already banned.
She banned you from the temple?
You know, temples they're not letting anybody to come. I'm not a local in temple. Right?
Oh, over there?
I'm outsider.
Okay, okay. Make sure you bring this to her. She irons this.
Yeah.
Oh, so over there, she doesn't want you to go anywhere.
Yeah, because it's more of a public place and a lot of people come. And nowadays, of course, they're banned, but
Still,
it's better not
just
to.
be safe, Prabhu. It's not clear there, you know that.
Yeah, that's why I don't want to go anywhere. Just
Yeah,
go to
still
house.
really bad.
Just go to my home and come back. Anything else, Mother?
No, thank you though. I always enjoy your class. And that Bulgari story I knew, and I also knew the way you said it. I didn't hear anything else.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.